Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses. And this video is going to be about the Count D Saint-Germain, taken from the All-Seeing Eye, Volume 3, Number 21, Wednesday, April the 13th, 1927. The Count D Saint-Germain. Little or nothing is known concerning the early life of that illustrious and illuminated philosopher, chemist, artist, and lapidary, the Count D Saint-Germain. He was born about the end of the 17th century and was supposedly the adopted son of the mysterious Count de Gabalis, the unknown adept who is immortalized by Abbe de Villa in his Romance of the Gnomes. In a footnote of Eliphas Levi's History of Magic appears the following. Saint-Germain testified on his own part to Prince Karl of Hesse that he was the son of Prince Ragasi of Transylvania. Nothing is known concerning the source of Count D Saint-Germain's occult knowledge, but he most certainly not only hinted at a vast amount of wisdom which he possessed, but also gave many examples to prove his statements. He declared that he possessed the secret of eternal youth, and it had been claimed for him that upon a certain occasion he had admitted having been personally acquainted with Queen Cleopatra, and at another time of having chatted familiarly with the Queen of Sheba. Had it not been for the striking personality and apparently supernatural powers, the Count would have undoubtedly have been considered insane. But his transcendent genius was so evident that he was merely termed eccentric. When asked about himself, he once said that his father was the secret doctrine and his mother the mysteries, and that he was raised by these two. The principles disseminated by Count D Saint-Germain was undoubtedly Rosicrucian in origin and were thoroughly permeated with ancient Gnosticism. His political power was very great, although it is now evident that there were two persons by the name of Saint-Germain who have often been confused with each other. One was a politician and the other was a mystic. Although none of his paintings are in existence at the present time, the Count Saint-Germain was accredited with possessing remarkable artistic ability. On several occasions he made drawings of precious jewels, and the reproductions were so remarkable that it has been affirmed that they sparkled, glistened, and glowed like the original. Levi thinks that he may have used powdered mother of pearl in his paint, but this is only speculation. It may be possible that his chemical ability had revealed to him the process of manufacturing luminous paint such as is now used on watch dials. The Count is also famous as a chemist and physician, and undoubtedly understood and operated the processes of alchemy. He was able to fuse precious stones so adroitly that it was impossible to detect any artificial process. He was also known to possess the power of removing flaws from diamonds and emeralds, so that stones of comparatively little value were transformed into gems of the first water after remaining for a short time in his possession. He frequently performed this last experiment, if the statements of his friends can be relied upon. There is also a popular story to the effect that he placed gems worth thousands of dollars on the place cards at banquets which he gave. The Count D Saint-Germain is also accredited with having discovered a method for making copper of great brilliancy and ductility. See Levi. This discovery alone would have ensured him a splendid fortune. Count D Saint-Germain was on very familiar terms with Louis XV of France, with whom he had many long discussions on the subject of precious stones, their manufacture, and purification. It is very probable that he profoundly influenced this vacillating king, but the purpose and import of that influence is unknown. The Count always appeared as a somewhat youthful person, immaculately but modestly attired in good style. He was a small man, slender and very dark. His eyes possessed a great fascination, and those who looked upon them were profoundly influenced. For many years, the Count was the philosophical and ethical fad of France. He was entertained by those in the highest position, and his circle of intimates included the royalty of many nations. He had entry where others dared not enter, and his word carried a tremendous influence. His personality has been described as charming, and his ability to preserve his youth overwhelming. The passing of 30 or 40 years apparently produced no change whatever in his appearance. The famous transcendentalist Count de Cagliostro was received by Count de Saint-Germain, and the two spent considerable time in private discussion. The results of the meetings have never been divulged. Count de Saint-Germain was the moving spirit of Rosicrucianism during the 18th century, and he is suspected of being the great power behind the French Revolution. There is reason to believe that the famous novel of Lord Bulwer Lytton Zanoni is actually concerning with the life and activities of Saint-Germain. The position occupied by Saint-Germain in Freemasonry is somewhat obscure. He is generally considered as having been a Freemason, and author Edward Waite includes his photograph in his Secret Traditions of Freemasonry. And it would probably pay the Brethren of the Craft to investigate very carefully the activities of this remarkable philosopher, who undoubtedly possessed a profound understanding of the secret workings of nature. Count de Saint-Germain disappeared from the stage of French mysticism as suddenly and inexplicably as he appeared. Nothing is known concerning him after that disappearance. It is claimed by transcendentalists that he retired into a secret order which had sent him into the world for a particular and peculiar purpose. Having accomplished this purpose, he vanished. Count de Saint-Germain is the mysterious philosopher and adept whom Theosophists know under the name of the Master R, and who, according to their belief, is now the invisible power controlling the development and unfoldment of the Freemasonic fraternity. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description below. Thank you very much.